Hey, it's Saul with another video, and I'm upset. I'm pretty upset. It's Sunday. I normally don't do any recordings on a Sunday, but there was some stuff that we've learned over, thanks to the good old folks at Wowhead and MMO Champion, about what is going to happen with our artifact weapons at the end of World of Warcraft Legion. And this is something that has been, it's been long speculated ever since we even talked about like this whole thing about, hey, we're going to have these weapons for a long time over the course of the expansion. And of course, the question to ask is, well, if we're not going to have artifacts, after Legion, and we're not, how are we going to get rid of these things? And this has been a topic that's been long going, and the prevailing thought, well, actually, first, I had a theory. It was more like my hope that we would have like some sort of meaningful kind of story-driven thing that, some crazy event that would lead our heroes, our champions to just lay down and retire the weapon ourselves. We actually just set them down, or we pass them down to like a successor, and then we walk away from our duties as whatever the heck class leader that you happen to be, and then we go off into our next adventure, something like that. My biggest fear was that there would be like some sort of big event, and there'd be some cheesy ass thing where it's like, oh, champions, hold your weapon and point it as hard as you can at the sky, and you're gonna save everybody. So spoiler alert, guys, prepare yourselves. That's exactly what's going to happen in the 7.3.5 patch, or at some point between now and the next expansion, Battle for Azeroth. We're going to be, well, okay, I actually have liquor here. I'm ready to drink it because I'm like damn near unhinged. I'm a little bit pissed off about this. It sucks. I don't like it. So anyway, I'm going to read this this information that was pulled out from Wowhead, and here we go. Magni Bronzebeard, the Diamond Guy, says the following at some point. All right, he says, "The sword of Sargeras is poisoned in the very lifeblood of the world. The only vessels capable of containing that kind of power are the mighty weapons we yield. Raise them up as one. Draw out the corruption from the Dark Titan's blade. Together, champions for Azeroth." You know what? That's the kind of stuff that I was like scared of. I did not want, I was really, really hoping that wasn't going to happen. I knew it was going to happen because that's kind of how it goes with like, cheesy dialogue and all that stuff. I don't drink tequila very often. Cheers to terrific storytelling. Yeah. Oh, it's Patron, by the way. So, excuse me. So, let's take a look at what's going on, right? Over on live servers, big ass sword in the ground, lots of red stuff. Oh no. PTR, placeholder box, that's not really the sword. I'm going to presume that the sword is going to be broken, or it's going to be shattered, or, something like that. And now it's not red, it's like yellowish, orangish, brown, something or other. And so far that's it, and supposedly our artifact weapons are going to be considered deactivated and yada yada yada. But I'm pissed. I'm pretty pissed about this because this is some hokey stuff, man. That's as like, I don't like the word uninspired, but I can't think of any other thing. It's so lame, dude. It's so lame. And here's why. Look at this sword. It's hella big. It's much, much bigger in the cinematic, but that's a minor detail. It's as big as this is as big as it's going to get in game, all right? But it's a big, big freaking thing. And if you look all the way down there, that's you. That's just you. You, the champion, with your artifact weapon, and you're supposed to take this thing, this artifact weapon, and you're supposed to disable or destroy freaking this sword of a titan? Come on, dude. I get that from a player standpoint. It's like, well, shucks, I put all this time into pumping artifact power into my weapon. It should be used for something because it's so powerful. But look at you all the way down there. That's one of you. If we take all the artifacts combined, that's still that. It only takes up like that much space, and you expect like let's add all this stuff together. You got 36 artifact, 30 something artifact weapons. So that's 30 some odd years worth of pumping energy into these weapons versus that thing, that giant honking Titan sword that's been, conjured up and powered over eons or, many, many, many years. And here's the other thing. So not all artifacts were made equal. Like, think about myself. I am a protection paladin. I got truth guard, and well, as a paladin in general, I have holy related stuff. Those are things that, okay, cool. It kind of makes sense that the little tiny smidgen of power that I infuse into my weapon is going to have something to do with negating the power of this sword. But what about like warlocks, right? I mean, this is all off the top of my head, okay? Because this is obviously a ramble more than anything. So, of course, feel free to disagree with like everything. But I mean, a warlock. What are the weapons that come to mind? There's a freaking demon skull. Okay, I don't think that he would be willing to sacrifice his power for the sake of this. He's like, no way, dude. I'm gonna suck it up and try to get stronger or something like that. So you wouldn't really, a warlock wouldn't really be that motivated to use that thing to disable the sword. It's like, well, shoot, what am I going to be birthing if I have my artifact weapon absorb this kind of power? Same thing with freaking destruction warlocks. They're using literally, I believe, the scepter of Sargeras itself. So it's like, wouldn't that make the weapon, wouldn't that like have an opposite effect? And what's the third weapon? The affliction. Basically, it just wouldn't quite work. Even worse would be something like freaking the Naifu, the Shadow Priest weapon. That would be in an even worse mix with, with taking in this kind of power. The weapon's probably going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and absorb that stuff. Wink, wink. And, you're not going to have the intended effect here. But basically the point that I'm making is it just doesn't make sense for each and every spec to have some sort of vested interest in having their artifact weapon be effectively sacrificed in the name of whatever the heck this is. And it's like, I mean, I'm being very nitpicky here. This entire video is very nitpicky, so feel free to download the shit out of it, okay? This truly is the shit show. Now, I know that there are other questions to ask too, like exactly when is this going to happen? Is this going to happen during the time frame of 7.3.5? Is this going to happen a little bit afterwards? Is this, my prediction was that this was going to happen just shortly before the system, like the major systems patch at the end of Legion, because I don't think we would want to necessarily have our artifact trades and things like that disabled when there are a lot of people and guilds and players that are trying to meaningfully progress through Antor's the Burning Throne, and they would probably feel kind of robbed knowing that the nature of their weapons and their classes and specs are going to be severely altered earlier than it should. So my salt is effectively focused just on the very act of just how lame this is, dude. I gotta say, like I said, this was entirely predicted. This was the most likely outcome because it's the easiest way to go about things, and it does make sense. I mean, there's a big honking sword in the middle of the planet. There's got to be a way to kind of cauterize the wound, to stop the bleeding, to make it so that the World of Warcraft doesn't just end right away, okay? But come on, this is way too, oh my god, team friendship. Let's all get together, guys. Hold your weapons into the sky. Raise them up as one. Come on, dude. This is gag-worthy stuff. This is like Power Ranger. I never do this, and this whole thing with the hair, I never do it. This is like some Power Ranger JRPG stuff that's. This feels amateur. This feels like amateur story writing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a big fan, of this expansion and pretty much everything that Blizzard does. This, I am not. So I'd love to hear your folks' thoughts. Did you figure that this was going to happen? You probably did. And maybe what were you hoping to see instead? Like I said, I was hoping for something more subdued, just laying stuff, laying down our weapons, retiring from our role, and walking away, off to the next adventure, off to the next big thing. But yeah, anyway, share your thoughts, like and sub if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.